Today on the channel, we're kicking off G.I. Joe Classified Series week with Christopher Law Levine and Order on Way I Got It Figured.
The Way I Got It Figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured, back with another G.I. Joe Classified Series review. This time, we're looking at number 157, Law and Order. And this is going to be the start of our G.I. Joe Classified Series catch-up week, where I'm going to do a G.I. Joe Classified Series review every day this week. So Law came from Hasbro Pulse. Picked up an extra copy from my buddy Phil over at Crossfire Collectibles. He's definitely been helping to keep me in G.I. Joes. And we're going to look at these guys, compare them with a couple other figures, of course. Get you out of here with some final thoughts. So starting off right on the packaging, we've got our new carbon fiber packaging in the sort of G.I. Joe new packaging, as well as the universal Hasbro 6-inch action figure packaging. They're looking pretty cool in there. Law and Order. All the extra hands and stuff you get with Law, which is pretty cool. On the side, we've got Law and Order. Nice artwork. 157. On the back, you got a kind of a G.I. Joe, the movie training scene, where Law's supposed to find a bomb and they go through that whole thing. Of course, you got your QR code to nowhere, along with your file card symbols. Back to the back, your file card symbols are 3 law enforcement, 2 light weapons, 2 intelligence, and 3 animal handling. Pretty easy in that case. You got your MP and K9 insert. You've got a badge, and you've got Order, some kind of mask. All upgraded things from the classic figure that did not have that. It was just kind of the dog. As you look at the packaging, we're going to get these guys out. Check them out. Here are Law and Order out of the package with all their accessories. And you get, quite a few things. You certainly get numerous ample hands for Law. Very similar to Mutt and Junkyard back in 24, early 24, late 23. And I think it's pretty cool package. We can already see the police vest, which we're going to get. Again, we probably already have. A lot of us already have the Legacy Collection SWAT team police officer, or whatever that is. I think they have that very same vest. And Law appears to be on the Outback body, but has the boots of the Stalker body. We'll put that to the test when we get to our comparisons portion of the video, but from here, that's what it looks like. Got his nice sort of reddish brown hair, which is a little more red than what the original toy had back in the day. His hair was just brown. I don't know too many Hispanic redheads, but he was never really portrayed as actually Hispanic, other than his last name being Levine. Other than G.I. Joe, the movie in 1987, Law and Order, of course, debuted in 1987. But they were always kind of a fan favorite from that assortment of Joes, that year of Joes, 1987, which which would have been year 5 of G.I.Joe, year 6, really, I guess. But, now in classified form, looking pretty cool. And we're going to get into some details. We'll start off, of course, with Law's many hands. So starting off here, he's got kind of a, maybe these are like supposed to be hand signals for the dog. I don't know, but you can use it as a saluting hand, I guess. It's got kind of a weird pointing finger, like he's pointing down. Like maybe he's directing the dog to get something. And he's got this weird white symbol. I don't know what these are supposed to be. I really don't. I mean, it's not always nice to get extra hands, but honestly, I'm not sure what they are. I really like this. This is a pointing hand with no glove. So Duke might want to borrow that. And of course, he does get a fisted hand. So he likes to swing with his right fist. That's fine. We've got some handcuffs that I just dropped. Oh, here we go. Got some handcuffs. Billy Club. Got your grunt pistol. Got your grunt knife. Got your Uzi with some paint apps. Uzi also came with the claws we just saw. And of course, you got Law's helmet. And they actually made it in the original style of the helmets rather than like a new helmet. And I don't know why it's kind of like dirty. But, that's cool either way. Then moving over to Order. Got an angry Order head. And you've got his little dog mask. And that's your accessories. Checking out Law. Like I said, he's on the Outback body. He's got the t-shirt, the Outback pants. You can tell by the knee pads. And then he's got the Stalker boots. Portrait looks kind of Robert Redfordish, if you ask me. But, whatever. Looks cool. And then you've got Order. And he's like a German Shepherd. And he's not like one, he's a German Shepherd. And that's pretty cool. He's got his extra little vest for control. Got the handle on there. I believe it's the exact same thing that came with Junkyard. And it's a pretty cool package. He was always going to have to come with the dog. So it is what it is. So next we're going to get him geared up. Or maybe pose him around a little bit before we get to some comparisons. All right, so we got Law and Order back, geared up as best as we could. So a couple of notes. Of course, they like to give this knife to everybody, but there's nowhere to store it. And you get the handcuffs, which also came with Chuckles, by the way. And he has a spot on his back for the handcuffs, but you can't really bend them that far to get them in there. I don't want to bend them that far. And the holster on his leg is definitely, it's like made to holster the Uzi. So I think that's pretty cool. So I was kind of going for somewhat of the box pose from 1987 with Law and Order. Except he's not holding the Uzi. But he's got the Billy Club, and I think that's pretty sufficient. So next we're gonna do some comparisons. Be right back. All right, so starting off our comparisons, we bringing in General Hawk. The reason why I brought him in is because again he's got the Outback pants and boots, and uh, Law has the Outback pants, but not the same boots. So I don't know if it makes a big difference in the height or anything, but you can kind of see the Outback boots are more narrow. The ankles are and shins are more narrow than the OG 13 kind of style boots. Since we haven't seen them in a while, I want to do a direct comparison with Outback. The original Outback is buried at the bottom of my Joe bin, so Stuart Outback Selkirk from Tiger Force is going to have to make the comparison. But I was right on about the boots. They're definitely not the same boots. Next up, we've got Retro Card Flint, who does have the same boots, even though honestly, from here, they actually don't even look the same. But it's probably because his boots have paint apps on them, and so it's giving them a slimming look, but they are indeed actually the same boots. So just to get them. Actually, no, I'm not so sure. Oh, I sort of disrupted them. There you go. And then finally for Law, we've got Duke without his rifle, but with Law's pointing finger. And I can report that it fits perfectly. No issues whatsoever. I'm pretty sure Duke's probably going to end up co-opting pointing finger, whether I have to share it, whatever. But yeah, that works out pretty good. And then for order, we've got Timber. This is the Alpha Commandos Timber, the version of Timber that looks most like Timber in my mind. And Order is actually somewhat taller. Well, the way the legs sit, he's standing up taller. Timber's legs are like the more bent angle. So adjusting them a bit, Porter still seems to sit up just a little bit taller. But his neck is up higher, and of course he's got the vest on. They're roughly the same size. I mean, Timber probably should be a little bit bigger because he's a wolf. Wolves are usually bigger. Even German shepherds are not bigger than wolves. But it works close enough for government work, as they say. So that'll do it for comparisons. We're going to move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on G.I. Joe Classified Series number 157, Law and Order. These guys are, must-haves if you're like an old G.I. Joe nostalgia kind of collector like me. They definitely evoke the 1987 original versions, and I think they did a good job with it. Updated them, to the 2000s, but kept the flavor of the original figures from back in the day. That seems to be the direction they want to go in now, anyway, to keep us old heads involved, but yet modernize the figure somewhat the trend seems to be following that pattern. And yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm happy with it. Law and Order was always going to be a must-have for me. They probably were, I don't know, second or third in terms of my favorite 87 figures. Probably second or third, really. Depends. They could probably swap with Falcon, Jinx probably being the favorite, Outback being right after that, Tunnel Rat being after that. So, they were up there. They've always been up there for that year of Joe. So glad to have him in the collection. Certainly we'll be seeing him again. You'll probably get the Sonic Fighters version of Law. Who knows? They might throw him on Night Force, make another version. I'm not going to buy like 3,000 versions of Law and Order though. They're fairly expensive. I think this will be the one that I stick with, and I think it's a good choice. It's a great figure. So I'm gonna give it a way I got a figure rank of 9. I think that's fair. And as much as I recommend figures, I guess I would recommend this one. The hand choices are cool for the most part. I mean, I really do like the pointing hand. So now Duke, who doesn't wear gloves, can do some leader style pointing. So I'm all about it. So that's going to do it for this one. Till next time, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Certainly love to have you along. Certainly going to keep going with G.I. Joe Classified series, as well as the other things that we do on this channel. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, this is going to be the beginning of G.I. Joe catch-up week. So I'm going to be doing a G.I. Joe Classified series video theoretically every day this week. Or every day this week that I do a video, it will be G.I. Joe Classified series. I've got quite a backlog of stuff I got to catch up with. So yeah. If you like G.I. Joe Classified series, at least on this channel, this week is the channel. This is the week. If you like G.I. Joe Classified series, at least on this channel, this is definitely the week to tune in. Till next time, everybody stay safe. Happy collecting. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.